On this episode of You Can't Eat the Grass, the sun is setting on our 4th year farming, but there is still a problem. Our fields are filled with flowers that we need to harvest and dry, or else we won't have anything to sell at our upcoming Christmas markets. Will Serina and Ian win the race against time? Or will frost ruin our dried flower plans? Stay tuned to find out. What are you doing, Sam?
I put in some sunflowers for the bouquets.
They look delicious.
October strawberries.
It's easier to pick when you don't have to put it in water.
Yep.
You look cold.
It's cold. And it's looking like tonight's the night. Weather's saying -2. I don't know how it's been possible, but we've avoided frost till now, which is great. But now, if we're gonna salvage this stuff, we really want to salvage it, before we go to bed tonight. So lots of picking to be done. Lots of things to strip out of here so that they don't get all mushy with the cold. We've been doing a pretty good job of saving up our dried flower stuff like the straw flowers and the status, but we need lots because we're doing a really, really big craft fair. It's 3 days, it's the biggest one in town. We think we can probably sell thousands and thousands of dollars of stuff at it, so we need to have thousands and thousands of dollars of stuff to sell. So anything that we pick out now is just gonna make our lives easier for, December. This video is sponsored by Skillshare, an online learning community with thousands of inspiring and creative classes for anyone who loves learning. I love dried flowers now, but I didn't always. It wasn't until I saw examples of all the incredible things that you could do with them that I got inspired and opened up my mind to experimenting. And that's what I love about Skillshare. Every time I open it up, I get exposed to so many incredible ideas that I would have never thought of on my own. I especially love the class, Everyday Flowers, Simple, Stunning Arrangements for Any Occasion by Spencer Falls. I've probably watched this class 10 times now, but despite that, Spencer always inspires me to give space to my own creativity. And I find the section on dried flowers extra inspiring. The first 1,000 of my viewers to sign up with my link in the description will get 1 month free trial of Skillshare, so you can start exploring your creativity today.
Getting your last fresh strawberries?
They've been liking the warm weather. See that? That's them getting frosted.
Yeah.
We're doing this big pick on the dried flowers, but we also have all these fresh flowers that we could pick, and then we'd be able to have something to sell for the rest of the week. Pretty sure these aren't gonna make the night, so we might as well pick them. Might as well bring them inside so that we can enjoy them or customers can enjoy them. Being in here, taking a closer look, it looks like we actually did get some frost last night. This right here is frost damage on the dahlias, as opposed to up here where the leaves are fine. And then this is like a flower that gets frost damaged. So they almost look like they melt. It's like when you take things out of the freezer and they just
In a lot of ways, though, this is the best the dahlias have looked all year.
Oh yeah, these are like the best dahlias ever because they really like the cooler nights. They don't like hot Okanagan summers. We often have these beautiful Septembers. Going into all the way to the end of October with weather like this was, an exceptional treat. But, the dahlias, they want something a little bit more temperate, I think. Ute. The buds don't open on the dahlias. You want to pick them like this, but these are gonna die anyways, so you know, they make good little accents to go along with the big flower. This one's my absolute favorite. This is Sylvia or Marn. This is like one of the few ones that I'd actually grow and be able to make money on.
This one looks so cool. It looks like it's like a cartoon almost.
I know. The leaves are rolled over. They're like little cups. This one got a tiny bit of frost, but I'm gonna use it anyways.
Pull those petals off.
Yeah.
You told me we'd still have dahlias at the end of October. I would have thought you were lying.
Yeah. Crazy weather this year. It's been so nice to be so hot and warm. I'm a sweet summer child. I need the warm, hot days. Much more pleasant than cold, wet days for working out in the fields. I don't complain about the heat. You can only complain about one, I figure. So I'll complain about the winter and just sweat through the heat.
It's like we got one cactus style one.
It's pretty. Not good enough for cutting though.
Oh look.
Turtle's folly. You know, this is one of the few varieties that actually does well here. These are called Ferncliff Illusion. They seem to keep going through the heat in ways that a lot of the other dahlias don't. And they seem to have some disease resistance, because we find that the dahlias, they just get full of disease from the grasshoppers munching on them all the time. That's part of the reason why, like, I put them into the bouquets. They're quite tall. They, actually produce like stems that cut really nicely. And then I grow them because they grow without a lot of effort.
Look at all the lilies.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be sad to see all the fresh flowers go for another season.
We're gonna wake up tomorrow and everything's gonna be dead. But won't be long until we're back at it again. We'll have enough time to get our fall planting, our bulbs and our peonies into the ground. And then it'll be Christmas. And then we'll be starting seeds for next year.
Happens fast.
Happens fast. Especially with the flowers. The flowers are, you have to start them earlier. It makes for a lot longer of a season.
I gotta go make dinner, so I'm gonna leave you out here for a little bit. It's a little bit later, the sun has gone down, the kids are in bed, we've all had dinner. It's gotten colder out, but not as cold as we thought it was going to be. The weather report changed and it looks like now there might not be a frost. We're going to cancel on the all-night harvest and said we're going to, do it tomorrow morning. We'll still get it done here pretty quick. because it's only a matter of time at this point. You know, it's like late October, so you know that's like weeks later than we normally get our frost. It has to happen really soon, and we need all of these dried flowers for, you know, all the sales we want to do this winter. So it's important that we get it done. As you can see, we have a lot of dried flowers in here. You know, there's piles of it over there. It's just everywhere. We have an entire room of it too. This room over here, which used to be, you know, fresh flower room, has become dried flower junk storage room. You basically can't even walk in here anymore. There's just dried flowers everywhere. That's it for me tonight. Got a little bit of a head start on hanging some of these dried flowers. I was working on it the other day, working on it today. We'll be working on it tomorrow as well. But, you know, I think we'll be happy with the results. It's like intensely bright out here today. Feels like, you know, summer sun, but yeah, everything's still looking good. So I'm gonna start by doing a little bit of cleanup in the outbuilding because having some space to put all this stuff is important. I'm gonna start there and then I'll start working outside. Serina took both of our youngest cats to the vet, so she's just out there with them. She should be back soon. And then I know she is gonna get at it out here as well. Everything that we're gonna pick this year has to be picked now. Otherwise, you know, the frost is gonna get it. It's gonna be too late. So it's now or never. Serina's home. How was the vet?
It did good. Kai hates his cage, so he goes crazy until he gets in the car. And then Dusty loves his cage, but he hates the car, so he goes crazy as soon as he's in the car.
What about you, Dusty?
He's like, I'm fine, the car's not going anywhere.
Brought out the big pruners.
Yep. They're a little thick, these these stems. So got the big ones.
What are you doing?
We're stripping down all their marigolds. We're over it. We're done. No more marigolds. They dry really well though. They're one of our favorite dried flowers, and you know, in the same way that they're full and take up a lot of space in fresh arrangements, they're also full and take up a lot of space in the dried arrangements. So, you know, if we can hang, you know, this entire bed of marigolds up, it's gonna mean that we have a lot of bulk to work with for our dried flower season. We thought it was gonna be safe, no frost, but this in here, this whole patch has been frosted to the point that, you know, the flowers are too damaged for us to bother drying them. I'm fine with that because the yellow is probably the least favorite. I like the darker colors better, and they dry a lot better too. So it's fine, but you know, it's interesting because, you know, things have been surviving so well to see, you know, that there actually is some patchy frost that happened. You'd think I'd be feeling sad in here, hacking down my plants, you know, finishing my marigolds for the season, but it actually feels pretty good to see things kind of like being done. It's been a long year, and we should be done with flowers by this point. We always talk about going to Halloween, but the truth is the making it to Halloween is more of like a vegetable goal. With the flowers, the season kind of ends with our Canadian Thanksgiving. That was like 2 weeks ago. The sales have been slow, so, it feels like the year's over. Like we have this big Canadian Thanksgiving, and that's the end of 2022. In my heart, it's 2023 now. So I'm feeling this, being drawn between the two things. I want to be planting, like tulips and the peonies. I want to be preparing for 2023. I want to be going through my seeds, making a farm plan. It's hard. It's hard to say that the season's done without being forced to end the season by frost. But getting out here and starting to do it makes me feel that, it's time.
A little faster at this.
Yeah. The plan for the status is we're just packing it all down. There's a mix of stuff that's not quite ready yet, perfect, and then older things. We're gonna bring it inside, we'll divide it and sort it there, but we just wanna quickly get it out of the field, get it dealt with. We were originally thinking maybe we'd use our hedge trimmer, come in, just cut everything down and pick it up. The blade is going like this. So it actually throws the stems kind of like everywhere. So I'm coming in with my sickle knife and we're just gonna cut this down really fast. By keeping it in my hand, I can make these bundles. It'll be way faster than going through and picking everything up after. I haven't actually used this year at all. This is like an amazing harvest knife for veggies. I'm glad to have it. Going through here, it's really fast. I'm like, put this in the rotation. It's been a beautiful, dry, sunny day out. We're getting into fall when we actually can have some rain. So we want to take advantage of it. We have probably about an hour left of daylight. So my goal here is just to get this picked as quickly as possible. Once it's inside, we can sort it with the lights on. There's a good chance I can cut down all these status beds. We have 2 beds. We can cut that down today. Then we're getting pretty close for the essentials. I still really want to get all that amaranth that we have left. Those are essential. But honestly, at this point, we don't have frost in the forecast at all. We have these, beautiful nights. So there's gonna be lots of time to get out there and get it. Bow! Bow, 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 bow! Bow, 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 bow! Someone wants a bouquet. So it's going in the carport. Another day, still no frost in the forecast, which is crazy. Today, our goal is to get all the amaranth picked, get that in, and then, we're pretty much there for the stuff that we want to salvage for drying. Looks like you've been working hard over here.
I have. It's hard to make progress when you're stripping these, weirdo marigolds. But finally got it done. I got them all bunched up and hung up. And now all we have to do is this giant floor pile of status. The good news is we don't have to bunch this up and hang this up. We're just gonna put this on a shelf. It dries super easy. But we are gonna sort through it and sort out the good, fresh stuff. The stuff that's kind of older and brown, we're gonna use that for brooms. And then the stuff that doesn't have any flowers open on it at all. And that stuff's just gonna go in the compost.
I know how hard Ian's been working, and I know it took a long time to get this done, but I'm also it's not really feeling enough. I had a mountain. I thought it was gonna be more than just a single rack, because I'm we need all the dried flowers we can get. Ian's been working hard in this room. This has not been available for walking into for the entire year. We basically at some point just started cramming dried flowers in here anytime they started to overtake the other room, and we only had the space for the door open. So Ian's moved things around, and it's feeling a little bit more manageable in here. It is legitimately a full room of dried flowers. There's a lot of dried flowers in here. I really shouldn't be too nervous that I only have an entire rack of marigolds. I am gonna have enough dried flowers to have, an abundance of dried flowers all winter long. Or Leia, which was actually pretty cool. And this was stock.
I've been busy today doing some, boring cleanup stuff. Kind of end of the season, collecting hoses and draining them and, all that sort of stuff. Additionally, Serina wants to keep selling. So we had a sign out front that said we were closed till Friday. Well, it's Friday night now, and we didn't get any bouquets out there today. But definitely tomorrow she wants to have some bouquets. So right now, what she has to do is pick some flowers. Serina is down here in the zinnias, and she's doing some harvesting for bouquets. Or she's not down here, she's somewhere else on the farm. Typical. Well, I'm gonna get back to the cleanup because I only have a very tight schedule to do it in. So I gotta get back to that. I'll come down here later when Serina's actually harvesting. She's probably feeding the kids right now. And I'll see you in a little while. Okay, I'm back. 2 seconds passed, and I was walking by the lisianthus. Check out how many lisianthus we have blooming right now. This purple lisianthus was my favorite flower this year. It always tilts the scales as far as what's my favorite when something sells really well. And this color sold so well. I'm a bit biased, but personally as well, I just really like that color. All right, that's it. I'm gonna get back to work for real, but first I'm gonna grab one of these floor tomatoes. These look good. All right, a bit of time has passed, and I know Serina is down there now. She's harvesting zinnias. I'm gonna go down there and see what she's up to. Normally when I film you when it's dark out, it's 10 o'clock, but it's only 6:15 right now.
It's definitely that time of year. Won't be long until 4 o'clock and it's dark. We're trying to get a few bouquets together to do some selling this weekend. Things are they're slow, there's not much, but it won't take much to put together, 10, 15, 20 bouquets. So make a couple $100, not a bad way to end the season. We did it! It's a success! We officially got all the dried flowers picked off of the farm in time. We made it before frost came. We got like 100 marigolds picked, and these are one of my absolute favorite dried flowers. I love how bright they are. We got this great mix of greens and different pinks in the amaranths. That's gonna be so helpful for filler for all these bouquets that we need to put together. When it comes to status, we got 1, 2, 3 racks, which is so much. And every single straw flower that was available on all of our plants. It feels incredible to have gotten all this stuff. You know, we put so much work into growing everything, and you know, these are the flowers that are gonna be there for us for the next 6 months when we don't have anything else. So I definitely appreciate that we did this, but I'm a little bit worried that maybe all of this work was a bad idea, because we got our frost finally on Thursday, and then the next day we have a snowstorm. And right now it's like so much snow outside, and there's no plans for it melting anytime soon. We have crazy unseasonable cold weather, and maybe instead of doing all this, we really should have been thinking about planting our bulbs.